Ooh-wee, okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Okay, today's episode is a post-fight show for Damian Maia versus Ryan LaFlare, and a pre-fight show for Chad Money Mendes versus Ricardo Lamas, and so get a doubleheader today. Okay, so let's get started with a post-fight rundown of Ryan LaFlare versus Damian Maia, main card. Okay, so the main event, Damian Maia, Ryan LaFlare, welterweight clash of the ages. My good buddy Damian Maia got the job done. He kept going for the takedowns, and it was a 5-round main event. And yeah, Damian Maia stole the show. He dominated every round, and then round 5 he was coasting by, and he was just stalling too much, and the ref took away a point, but it didn't really matter because he won the first 4 rounds. And Ryan LaFlare wasn't able to really find his groove with the striking, and Damian Maia was just really good at creating angles and finding good range to go for the takedowns and work his submission stuff. So it was pretty amazing. And yeah, Damian Maia didn't get the submission, but give credit to Ryan LaFlare for defending all possible submissions for the 25 minutes. Yeah, great fight. So Damian Maia won en route to unanimous decision victory due to takedowns and just total dominance. There wasn't a whole lot of back and forth stand-up striking in this one. Yeah, then on to the co-main event, Eric Silva versus Josh Koscheck, welterweight co-main event. Eric Silva, yeah, he won submission guillotine choke, and that was yeah, round 1, and it looked impressive. I was expecting Eric Silva to win by first round knockout because he absolutely loves first round flashy knockouts, and Josh Koscheck's chin has been in question in his last several fights. So especially with the Robbie Lawler fight and other fights. Yeah, so Eric Silva, he's back on the winning track, on racking up those wins now. And yeah, then in the lightweight division we had Leonardo Santos versus Tony Martin, and yeah, it was submission rear naked choke, and that was round 2. Santos, he's just a beast in the lightweight division. Tony Martin has all the potential in the world, but he just needs to find that consistency. I'm a big Tony Martin fan, but yeah, I wasn't shocked to see Leonardo Santos get the win here. Then in the women's bantamweight division, we had Amanda Nunes versus Shayna Baszler. Now I'm a huge Shayna Baszler fan. I want her to win so bad, but I knew it'd be probably something along the lines of a finish early on in the fight. Yeah, it was round 1 TKO, leg kick and punches, and it was a pretty amazing fight though, because Shayna hung in there as long as she could, and Amanda Nunes, she's in the top 10 women's bantamweight division for a reason, and yeah, she got the win. And I would say a couple more wins for Amanda Nunes, and she's in title talks for sure. There's still some girls above her that are in title contention, so she would have to kind of wait that out and win another match or 2, and then I would imagine if that goes well, we could definitely see her fight for the belt. Yeah, but it was a great fight. Good finish for Amanda Nunes. And yeah, that was first round TKO. Then in the lightweight division, we had Gilbert Burns versus Alex Oliveira. And yeah, you know, Gilbert Burns, man, he was struggling in this fight early on, and I thought, wow, maybe I'm wrong. You know, I had Gilbert Burns dominating this fight, but when he wasn't, I was a little questionable. But then he hung in there, and he eventually got it. And it was submission armbar, and that was, yeah, round 3. And yeah, he was definitely struggling in those first 2 rounds. Yeah, I think Gilbert Burns, he is a top prospect still. He just needs to work out a few things in his game, but he's definitely a guy to look out for in that division. He's not going to be in title contention anytime soon, but you know, we'll see from here. We'll see how he looks in his next couple matches, and then after that we might be able to see a future star guy that could fight for a belt with a few wins in a row. Yeah, because that lightweight division's stacked right now. Yeah, then to kick off the main card, we had a featherweight clash with Godofredo Pepe and Andre Fili. Now, man, Andre Fili, he trains at with Raya Faber and Chad Mendes at Team Alpha Male. And I thought Andre Fili was just going to steamroll through Godofredo Pepe and just be the top dog and, you know, the guy that we're all, you know, talking about in featherweights. Yeah, wow. Whew. Godofredo Pepe, man, he stole the show. Yeah, it was submission. That was flying triangle choke, round one. And yeah, he just sunk that in and he wouldn't give up. And he kept going for it and going for it and going for it, and boom, he got it. Tapped out, and Andre Fili goes to the back of the line, and Godofredo Pepe is now racking up those wins and is now seeing some potential as a possible star in that featherweight division. 145 is pretty stacked right now. You got Ricardo Lamas, Chad Mendes, Conor McGregor, Cub Swanson, and just so many talented featherweights right now. It's going to take a few more wins to convince people that he is a threat, but he's looking good for now. Yeah, and then on to the pre-fight rundown of the main card of Chad Mendes versus Ricardo Lamas. Yeah, so I'll give my predictions here. In the main event, it's Chad Money Mendes versus Ricardo Lamas, featherweight 5-round main event. I'm picking Chad Mendes by decision here. I think he's going to keep Ricardo Lamas at bay, and he's going to do that by throwing his strikes, and then Ricardo Lamas is going to go for takedowns, but he won't get it. Chad Mendes will stuff him. Chad Mendes will keep the fight standing. He might take Ricardo Lamas down in the later rounds, but that's a big if. I think Chad Mendes believes in his heavy knockout power hands, and he's going to go for a knockout. And yeah, I think Ricardo Lamas, he's going to be running around too much where he'll get hit, but he won't get hit hard enough to necessarily get knocked out. But I wouldn't doubt it either. I would say midway into the fight, he could get knocked out. That's if he does, but I don't think it will happen. So I got Chad Mendes winning by unanimous decision in this one. Then in the co-main event, it's Jorge Masvidal versus Ali Quinta in a lightweight bout. I've gone back and forth with this one because I have a lot of high regards for Jorge Masvidal. I think he's a star. You know, he was a top prospect in Strikeforce. Ali Quinta, he's had a couple matches like the Ultimate Fighter 15 finale where, you know, he was expected to do real well and possibly win the whole thing, and it didn't pan out, and then he's had a couple other bumps in the road. But I think Ali Quinta wins this one because I think he's starting to find his groove now, and I think that he definitely gets it done. I mean, he's a stud. And yeah, so I got Ali Quinta winning by probably unanimous decision, but hold that thought. Yeah, whew, okay, back. Okay, I just had to realign my notes. Okay, yeah. Then, so I got Ali Quinta winning by unanimous decision over Jorge Masvidal. Then also on the main card we have another lightweight bout. It's Michael Chiesa versus Mitch Clark. Now this one, it's a tough one too, but I gotta go with my good buddy Michael Chiesa because of his height and reach advantage and the way he kind of got robbed in that Joe Louozon fight where it was just too early. I think they should have let that round go all the way through and then assess his cut and then possibly call it off. But it was stopped a little too early. They're playing it way, the doctors, whoever, were playing it way too safe. I say let him at least finish the round. And I think he was starting to find his groove, and he could have knocked out Joe was on there. So I think Michael Chiesa has a point to prove, and he's going to use his height and reach advantage over Mitch Clark. It won't be an easy fight for him, but I think Michael Chiesa will be going for submissions and either win by unanimous decision or submission midway into the fight. Because yeah, Michael Chiesa, he's definitely a submission guru. So there you have it. I got Michael Chiesa winning over Mitch Clark, but don't count out Mitch Clark because this one's a close one. Then in the women's bantamweight division, we have Juliana Pena versus Milana Dudieva, and I'm gonna go with Juliana Pena because she's been out for so long, and she's still been training, and she's still in shape. And she just blew through the competition on Ultimate Fighter Season 18 to win that season. And Milana's a tough prospect in women's bantamweight. So again, this is a pretty even matchup. But I think Juliana will just be able to mix things up, because the thing about Juliana, she's not just, you know, a wrestler or a striker or a grappler. She's one of those kind of, I studied everything, I'm well-rounded. She's just a well-rounded fighter. So you can't really come in with a game plan to stop this or block that, because it may not work. And Juliana Pena, you know, she just has all the tools, I think, to win this one. So I got her winning probably by, I'll say, unanimous decision. Then in the featherweight division, also on the main card, we have Clay Guida versus Robbie Peralta. This one I'm taking Clay Guida. I think his experience gets it done, and he can take a hit, and he can use his wrestling against Robbie Peralta. And I think if anything, he lays on top of Robbie Peralta and gets a unanimous decision win here. Yeah, Clay Guida, I don't see him knocking out Robbie Peralta, but it could happen. Submitting him, maybe. I would say it's a coin toss between a knockout and a submission midway into the fight, but I'm leaning towards unanimous decision here for Clay Guida. So I'm picking Clay Guida over Robbie Peralta to win this one. Then also on the main card, we have in the lightweight division, Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus Carlos Diego Ferreira. And this is Dustin Poirier going back up to lightweight, which he hasn't fought in lightweight in ages. He's been at featherweight for a long time. I'm picking Carlos to beat Dustin Poirier. I think, you know, Carlos, you know, the way he steamrolled through Colton Smith, and just, you know, the competition in lightweight. Carlos has found his groove. He's only coming off one loss. He's only had that one setback in his career, really, and he's otherwise steamrolled through everyone else. Dustin Poirier, I think, you know, I think that he should have stayed at featherweight, but it's his decision. He knows his own body better than most people, of course. I think he should have stayed at featherweight, because I think Dustin will, even if he wins this match, he won't really see the belt anytime soon. There's so many talented lightweights out there. Featherweight, he may have had a chance, a better chance. So I'm going with Carlos on this one, but I won't count out Dustin. And if Dustin wins, I got Dustin losing this next match or two. But nothing against Dustin, but just, yeah, I think that Dustin has, you know, experience and plenty of tools, and he's a well-rounded fighter. But Carlos, he can do, he could, man, his submission skills are amazing. And I think if anything, he'll win by unanimous decision here, or a submission early on in the fight, maybe round one. So there you have it. I have Carlos over Dustin in the lightweight division. And stay tuned for my next episode, which will be a post-fight show about Mendes and Lamas. So until then, see ya.